Good evening, friends. Hope you're having a wonderful evening and ready to hang out and play Monster Train. Yeah, we're doing more of the Hat Trick Challenge as we've been doing. And here we go. Let's jump into it. We finished off both Rector and Bolette yesterday. We did not fumble Bolette again. We got there. That said, we're coming into this fresh. We need to pick a champion to start with. I don't really feel like doing Wilden 10, though I feel like I'm never really going to feel like doing Wilden 10. I kind of lean towards Ardoon. Ardoon or Talos? I think we're going to do Ardoon. That said, I don't know who we're going to pair Ardoon with. Wilden 10 feels so miserable. He's okay-ish. It's just that, especially in Monster Train 2, I think Awoken is a pretty boring clan, all told. They are made a little less boring after the update. But they're still not a particularly interesting clan, especially in a world where infusions no longer exist. Because one of the things that kept them at least vaguely interesting in Monster Train 1 is that they had some... I mean, like, the infusion system was fun. And so, like, there was some thoughts around, like, which units you want to draft and when you want to fuse and things like that, yada, yada, yada. But anyways, Awoken in general feels kind of boring, and Wilden 10 also feels not particularly great. Also, I don't know. Like, we'll see how it goes. What's an underutilized clan when it comes to choosing a secondary other than Umbra? Are you talking about just in general, like in normal gameplay? Because, like, I don't know what you mean as far as underutilized, perhaps. Like, if you're saying, in the ideal situation, what clan would you pick for each champion? Like, yeah, I guess Umbra is probably on the lower end, but a lot of that just comes down to personal playstyle. Because there are a lot of situations where you probably wouldn't want, like, Luna all that much. A lot of situations where you wouldn't want Pyreborn all that much. Remnant doesn't go particularly well with, like, Stygian, for instance. It goes okay, basically, everywhere else. Like, I don't know. I spend so much time just playing, like, a random, or whatnot, and doing all the different clan combos that there's a lot to like about almost every clan combo. And even Umbra, like, people are way too harsh on. Umbra does bring a lot of good stuff to the table. It's basically just their banner units are pretty underwhelming. And even then, you can use their banner units to fairly good effect. I just don't, because why would I? But yeah, I mean, I would say that probably after Umbra, if you want to call Umbra the worst, like, supporting clan, and it probably still is, but even then, it's by a not wide margin. I'd say that probably Luna or Pyreborn are next on the docket. But, like, they're still good clans, and it's hard to say that any, like, supporting clan is bad, because even if they don't synergize particularly well with, like, your main clan, they still have internal synergy in their own stuff, so you can still end up going with, like, a Luna heavy deck, even if they're your second clan. All that said, we're doing Ardoon. And I never did actually pick what we're doing for Ardoon's clan combo. So, we're probably doing Stygian again. Like, Stygian is just pretty versatile. It works pretty decently if we end up stacking up a bunch of Conduit on Battleborn. It gives us some defensive units. It gives us Incant Armor. It gives us just good Incant units in general. I think that's just pretty clearly what we want. Like, there are other things that could work well in addition to that. Like, Pyreborn can go pretty decently. Obviously, just like Lazarus is a good supporting clan, Banish is a good supporting clan, even Hellhorn is pretty good. Hellhorn definitely is not as good as it was in Monster Train 1, partly because the lack of infusions definitely hurts them. Like, you can no longer just infuse Steelworker into a bunch of units and get free armor on your whole team every turn. Like, that was a good play. You can no longer do. Anyways, regardless, we're doing this. We're taking Frozen Lands because it's affected by Conduit, and it gives us some value for all that. What does Mageblade do? Mageblade gives extra attack per magic power on the floor, but mostly it means Conduit. And so it just means that he essentially has a stacking, like, innate damage scaling as you build up Conduit on the floor. Anyway, so what are we taking for his Pyre? I don't know which champion path I'd want to play most. I think Battleborn is the one we're going to have the most trouble with. And as is pretty common, I think we want Bogworm for one of these. Aquath is okay. Pyre Savagery is okay. I think Timefather we probably want. Even Winged Spirit might be okay, even though it's a pretty terrible Pyre. Heart of the Pact is also good. Let's start with Timefather. I do kind of wish that I had more reasons to be mixing up the Pyres more than I am. But, alas, you're rare. Phase Blessing is good. Guarded the Unnamed is something. Cuddle Hex is whatever. Alright, Battleborn is what I wanted, kind of. The problem with Battleborn... Well, I mean, there's a lot of problems with Battleborn, but... Okay. Well, those are both interesting and somewhat similar. Even without phase control, which we sort of have because we have the Moon Conduit, or Moon Rituals as our starter card. Even without phase control, Astrologer's Orrery would still be gaining us one extra Ember every other turn, basically. And it's fairly likely we can get that to around once a turn. Split Anvil, on the other hand, is potentially really cool. I'm going to take Split Anvil. There's a good chance it doesn't do anything for me, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. Yeah, I mean, I guess we set up like this. The problem is we need to actually be funneling kills to Ardoon, which is a bigger ask than it might otherwise seem. Well, can't get that because I have no backline access yet. Sadly. That is one of the frustrating things about this set of starters is there's just no way. No way for you to do that. Yeah, and this is the other problem is I don't actually really want both of you guys there because I want Ardoon to just be able to kill things. Well, unfortunately Ardoon is going to... Oh, I have capacity open for you. Anyways, Ardoon's going to miss out on a kill here because the Guard of the Unnamed is going to get the kill instead. But that's okay. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm gonna leave these so that there are more things for our dude to kill. Yeah, because I was pretty confident we'd still have the kill here, since we have a good chunk of armor, and our Dune, even with my minimal power, still does a decent amount of damage. Like, it's not particularly difficult to get out of ring 1 with our Dune. Yeah, and he even got the kill. Which was very likely that he's the one who would get it, because my other dudes are only doing 5 damage each. But, still. Okay, so. Now we need to start making choices, and we are up against Entropy. So, here's part of the issue with Battleborn Arduin. Well, here are a multitudes of problems with Arduin. Number one, he, even when he ends up getting quite strong, can only kill a single enemy, unless you give, like, multi-strike to him, but there's no way to do that in clan, so you have to look for options in the clanless pool or in your ally clan. So, you still need support to actually, like, clear waves. And there's only one banner unit that naturally has Mageblade, and it's a rare. So if you hit that, yeah, you can use Arduin to kind of scale up your whole team, which is cute, but unlikely. Secondly, you can use his conduit to empower spells, but if you're using like an AoE spell, it will then just wipe the whole board, and then there's nothing left for Arduin to kill, and then you're not getting the permanent slay things. 2 banner units of Mageblade. You're right. I did forget about Selene Acolyte for a moment. Yeah. I remember that as the main point of the unit being that it has sweep, but you're right. It does have Mageblade too, and it is good. Yeah, I just totally forgot. Admittedly, I usually forget at least one of Luna's banner units when I'm thinking of the whole group. Though usually that's the one with the activated ability that gives spell weakness. Anyways, back on topic. So, if we end up taking the Celestial Storm, it is very powerful for us, potentially. But it also means that we'll get to a point where Arduin is never getting to kill things. And there is sort of a world where I could, like, use this on a different floor than Arduin to kill whatever is remaining, but then most of my conduit is going to be on Arduin's floor, and so this won't actually do much damage without that. It still might be the right take, and honestly, I don't really need to get his conduit that high. And it doesn't ever change the scaling, right? Yeah, it just increases how much Mageblade he's got. Anyways, all this to say that what I'd actually like is probably more like Bloody Moon, the sort of like targeted damage spells, so I can selectively weaken enemies or pick them off, and then have Arduin finish off at least one enemy per round. So I think I'm skipping here. I do kind of want the Gravity. I think we're going to skip the Gravity. I might take the Moon Pixie, because naturally I have 1 extra capacity, and the Moon Pixie is way better for me than like Cuddle Hex is. So I will take that, I guess. We're going to leave Offering Token. We're going to leave Ice Storm, though. It is kind of cool. And I think we're leaving Energy Siphon, even though it's a card I barely care about. Maybe should have taken Energy Siphon. Anyways. Well, I really wish that I had, like, Bloody Moon. I'm gonna go here. I was hoping for a holdover. Could take Astrologer. We definitely want to save Nightingale. Nightingale, we very much want for Hierophant. Or, like, we don't necessarily have to have it, but we want to save that as an option. Because it's sort of the best unit for Hierophant. Or Hierophant. Honestly, don't know how it's pronounced. Astrologer's fine. I think mostly right now it doesn't matter to us, but it might be worthwhile to put on a higher floor. I'll take it, I guess. I'm not wild about it. Intrinsic is fine. Magic power is okay. But there's the holdover, which I have almost exactly enough to afford, and we're going to take that. It's not totally necessary, but it does help quite a bit. Okay. So I think I think let's try setting up like this. The problem is I just don't know if I'm going to get strong enough for Ardoon to take out the Flagellants in a timely manner. That certainly helps. Yeah, actually, I'd rather play out the Spear Steward. Yeah, honestly, I'll just freeze this for now. Unfortunately, they have the healers, like jerks. Okay, so Ardoon's getting a kill, and then we're finishing off the damage dealer. Unfortunately, once again, not getting the Collector. I'm not surprised that I'm not getting the Collector. I am still disappointed, though. Okay, we definitely want to do that first, and then we do basically the same thing. I am glad that we're getting Ardoon to the point where he can kill a unit, because we just want to farm as much Conduit as we can early game. Unfortunately, didn't get this one because I don't have any damage spells, but whatever. And I sadly don't have any way to bring him to the front. Oh well. Yeah, I'm gonna leave this because I assume Ardoon gets the kill here. It takes so long for me to chew through that health bar. But we get there. Okay. I will definitely take Bloody Moon. We want to save Eclipse Chamber for sure. Another Moon Pixie is fine-ish. Bloody Moon is exactly the sort of spell that I want. Crypt Builder is also fairly decent for us. So is Helical Crystallis. And I don't explicitly need to save any of these spells for other paths. I might take the Crypt Builder. Split Anvil Activator. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. Yeah, I'm decently happy to do that. Let's do it. Really wish that I had another Merchant of Magic here, but we'll definitely go here. Multi-strike is fine. Ooh. Well then. You don't say. Let's take Moonguard. We're definitely getting rid of the Astrologer now. I'll tell you that much. And I think we're just giving you Conduit. Because I would like to give Incant Armor, but I just can't really do that. And it's good enough to just give you that. Nope, not taking Dante. Admittedly, this is one of the worst combos for Dante. Because there's almost no unit-based scaling in this. You have Phase Blessing instead? Yes. I still have to draw Phase Blessing and all that jazz, but yes, I do have Phase Blessing. Okay. I don't remember what the waves look like on this fight. I think we're doing this. I mean, I would like to play that out. I guess I can freeze it. Okay, I may as well play you in front, and I still have enough to play that. Okay, I do need Ardoon to be strong enough to kill things, which we're basically there now. Okay, so you're gonna kill there, and then that happens there, and then we are strong enough. I'm just gonna freeze him so we can play him next turn, or at the very least have him not cycle through my deck. Since that's mostly what I care about here. Admittedly, probably should have played the Shield Steward instead of one of the Frozen Lances, but whatever. He does get fairly scary, but alright. I do have kind of stacking armor every turn. Alright, we'll just kill them outright to save Ardoon some health. And watch as Ardoon keeps the murder going. Honestly, I'm just gonna freeze these so that I don't have to draw them again. Yeah, he has a lot of rage. He does scare me to some degree. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, our Moonguard does hit for a lot of damage. Yeah, I thought that was likely going to be the situation. Yeah, I really wanted to play the Calcified Ember, but I was assuming that I wouldn't be able to kill him if I did. Unfortunately, Ardoon doesn't get the kill, but at least kill the frontliner. Alright, so if I hadn't found Moonguard with a double with multi-strike, I would be maybe happy to see the Siren Song. Still a good card, I just don't think we need it right now. Although it is kind of nice in preventing us from having to deal with enemy like unit trials. Invasion trials is the word I'm looking for. Silver Ink is good. I think this is probably the best time for it. I mean, like, I could use it on any run, but I think it's good here. So we'll take that. I mean, Offering Monument's cute, but I'm just not going to take it. Split Anvil is kind of making you draft a bit differently. Yeah, it is. Which is, again, part of why I like Split Anvil. I like the artifacts that meaningfully change how I'm going to play a run. I like that way more than things that just give me, like, a little bit of extra power or whatever. And so Split Anvil, it's just a very cool artifact. It's not always going to be applicable, but oftentimes it changes how you draft and changes how you upgrade and changes how you build your deck. Silver Ink is good with Time Father. It is, since you can freeze it. Yeah, I think we're not taking Offering Monument. It is sort of kind of good for me, because we do live in a world where we have Split Anvil, and so all we really need is to get, like, our 3-cost spell, and then we can just 0-cost everything else. And, like, in saying that, maybe I do want to take it. I've currently got 4 Deployment Ember, and unfortunately you take 2. I mean, I think we should probably take Offering Monument. The problem is that there are way better decks for us to use it on. It's just that we're almost certainly not going to be offered it on the other 2 runs. Anyways, I think we're going to take Offering Monument. And then we take Ember here, and then we take Capacity on the next upgrade, and we dupe the Moonguard. And, like, that is a pretty solid lineup. I would take Capacity here if I had more Deployment Ember, but I don't. So I don't have a lot of gold. I think we're still going here, because ideally we'd like to hit Holdover for the Crypt Builder, and also we'd like to do just a -1 on the Silver Ink, so that... Or maybe not. The problem is that Silver Ink... Well, we'll figure it out. I guess this is already attuned. I don't really need Silver Ink to hit it. Anyways, yeah, we're going here, even though I don't have a lot of gold to spend. Yeah, that's not particularly exciting. I mean, Silver Ink's fine right there to make remove consume. It's just not that exciting, because the main point of Silver Ink is to make things attuned. Not taking, not taking, not taking. Okay, sounds great. Done. Would have loved to do other things as well, but that is the main thing we cared about. Because now we have a consistent enabler for Split Anvil, no matter what we draw, basically. We do want to be on bottom floor because Corrin fucks things up, although you are a little bit vulnerable there. I think you still survive the first wave, though. Yes, but you also don't kill anything. Well, I'm going to get rid of that. I'll take the damage, whatever. Unfortunately, Ardune's not getting the kill, but I do want him in front, because otherwise, a lot of these waves, Moonguard is just going to beat everything to death. And I don't particularly want to live in that world. Whoops, I did do that wrong. Iron Tongue rules those piddly utility units are taking, like, Moon Pixie and Monwian. Yeah, but it also doesn't matter for us. Like, those units are units we're going to have in the back of the floor anyways. And ideally you want Iron Tongue on something that's in the front. I could also just freeze these, but I think we're okay. I would like to cast more spells here, but I don't want to kill that guy because I want Ardune to get the kill. Okay. And yes, I did lose my train of thought. That's fine. We'll recover it in a moment. You actually do more damage. Oh, I mean, mostly what I was trying to say is just, like, yes, technically sort of a little bit helpful. But realistically... I probably should have done this differently. That's fine. I'm going to have enough wave clear without Iron Tongue. And therefore, it's not really a good reason to take it right now. Okay, we're gonna do this so I can get attuned on that. Also, we have more than enough damage as is. It does mean that we're not going to have the Crypt Builder next turn, which is a shame. Although we can just freeze that, I guess. But anyway, there's just no reason for me to use the Iron Tongue right now. There'd be more of a reason if I weren't doing Hat Trick, but with Hat Trick, I especially don't want to do it. And even without Hat Trick, it's just not that important to me. Okay, so we'll kill that one, because Ardune's only going to get one of these kills anyways. And then in New Moon, our dude is way stronger. Admittedly, maybe I don't want him to be stronger. Then maybe it's more likely that he's going to get the kill. But he didn't. Ardune still got the kill anyways. We're doing pretty decent on getting Ardune slays. Yeah, it's up to 19 conduit, which is almost an additional 80 attack power. So the Aurora Weaver's cool, but not for this deck. Cover of Night is good, but again, we've already got defense in the form of Phase Blessing. And although I would like to get Intrinsic on one of them. Anyways, we don't need the New Moon phasing right now as much as we need it for others. So we're just not going to worry about that. Ideally, we get Cover of Night with Mystic Hammer Ardune, which is the New Moon extra damage one. Guardian's Amulet is cute. Doesn't really matter. Pretty sure we don't need any of these. Like, they're okay, but with vaguely minimal effort, we're going to be getting a lot of extra damage. Hat Trick seems irrelevant since we have 3 natural sweepers since Claim combo. You mean as far as Iron Tongue? I was going to say, like, there's a lot more of the Hat Trick than just whether you have sweep units or not. But yeah, if you're talking about as far as Iron Tongue goes, that's not entirely true. Because it allows me to search for sweep in different locations. And more to the point, Iron Tongue sets their attack to 30, which is relevant. Since the Stygian Sweepers are both at 3 attack, or 3 and 5 now, or something like that. Maybe it's 3 and 10. Either way, it's a low amount of attack. And there are no spell-based attack buffs in this clan. And so I am far more limited in my ways to make them get to a point where they can kill backliners. We'd be going here basically just for the removals. Technically, I could also get like Incant Armor or Conduit on the Offering Monument. I mean, that's not the worst. And there's an event. Maybe that's nice. Going here... Don't know what we would want. There are obviously a number of good artifacts. But I think I'm just going to go here. The removals are good. The event might be good. Don't know that I care about any of those. So if we went here, we could potentially get the Underlegion Spike, which would allow us to propagate Conduit. I don't think that really matters. Although Spikes are sort of free for us because with Split Anvil, we can play it at max Ember and then still minus cost everything else in the hand. Including, because I've got 4 Ember, we could even hit the Crypt Builder in that as well. Which is fine. Banish could get us, like, damage shields, which is good, but, again, sort of irrelevant. Like, I guess we look at this. Nope, don't really need those. They're not bad cards, it's just I'm not using consume cards, and I'm not debuffing enemies, and... Here we are. So I think we're just doing conduit and armor on you. I could reroll for, like, dualism, but I'm just not going to do that. And then we need to start getting rid of things, of which there are a lot of things I'd like to rid myself of. Particularly since I want to make sure we're drawing the Phase Blessing in a reasonable time frame. Bandage may offer floor overstacking option. Yeah, kind of. The only one in the rare pool would be Heaven's Word. Which kind of works. I don't really want to be setting up on top floor, though, for other reasons. Okay, we're going to get rid of those for now. For this one, I do want to set up on top floor, though. Partly because ideally we want the boss to have as much stacks of reanimate as possible. As many, I should say. Yeah, we'll just blow you up. And then we'll freeze that. And by that, I mean we're going to do this in the right way. Since I have the Cuddle Hex, who can just freeze it for me. There we go. Okay, you can go there. I'll just leave you unplayed. I'm going to do that just so we can hold it for later and so we can get some extra card draw and armor. Okay, so we're going to... We're going to do that. We're going to kill that. And it doesn't matter whether we end on new moon or full moon. And then we do that, and everything looks pretty good. Alright, we'll just freeze that and let all those guys die. That's fine. We more or less should have all the wave clear that we need now. Yeah, having guaranteed 10 cards a turn is nice. Unfortunately, I am taking the Vengeful Shard. Oh well. I just figure we may as well get rid of the sap dudes. The sap wouldn't matter too much, given how much damage I'm already pumping out. But also, it just kind of gets in my way. Yeah, this is why we did not draft other defensive options. Just not really relevant to our needs. Unfortunately, I'm still taking 1 damage from the Vengeful Shard, but, like, again, in the grand scheme of things, who cares? Realistically, I don't fully need to do that, but I did do it anyways. Okay. Oh, there we go. I actually should have done this slightly differently. I should have shot him with the Bloody Moon last turn. So then he wouldn't be taking as many kills from Ardoon. Because if I'd killed him, we definitely would have had enough armor, and Ardoon would have just gotten all of these stacks of reanimate. And instead, he only got a couple of them. But I didn't want to, like, redo the entire battle just to fix that. Which is, it's fine. He still has a lot of conduit. It's just that he could have had a lot more conduit. Anyways, we don't need Cover of Night. We don't need Moonlit Glaive. Lunacy... Again, this is sort of the best time for it. We don't really need it to succeed, but I kind of still want it. Technically, it's still good to save for later in case we end up using, like, Astrologer as a primary unit. It's unlikely that we need it for that, but it is possible. So I think we're actually best just skipping it. Even though I kind of want it. We definitely do not need these. We will skip. And so the next dupe is here. Okay, well, we're going here. Don't need Inferno Room. Don't need Boiler Room. Swift Steel Dagger's kind of cute, but really doesn't matter. I don't think there's really anything that does matter, other than I kind of want to get Void Armament for our Dune, but that is pretty unnecessary and actually fairly unhelpful for me. So, we're not going to worry about that. We are going to dupe him. I can't utilize him yet, but that's fine. We're going to get rid of you now. We're going to get rid of basically everything that's not spells. I mean, the Cuddle Hexes are doing okay work for me, but still. Yeah, I mean, I'll leave that for now, I guess. Well, we don't really want to set up on top floor because the spikes are awful. Truly the worst. You'll go there and do your thing, who cares? Yeah, this is good enough to do right now. Like, yes, it's nice for it to hit the damage spells as well, but all we really care about is making sure that we can armor up our Dune. And we've done that. Yeah, so it doesn't kill. We'll do that. He does less damage this way, but again, who really cares? We're gonna kill that one just so there's no possibility of Kale eating it later, since it would line up here. I wouldn't care that strongly, but it still is best avoided. Like, with our phase blessings, it shouldn't matter. But also, why would I bother letting them? Well, again, our deck is pretty good, and it's only gonna get better. Again, I could kill him, but then I would be missing on Conduit. Phase Blessing should have phase. Just because of the alliteration, or not the alliteration, but the homophonic nature of it. I don't remember if it was you who said that previously, but I have heard that before. And absolutely no, it should not. Admittedly, what bothers me a lot more is when people say that, like, Witchweave should have phase, or various other Luna cards. They're easy enough phasing in Clan. People act like it's impossible to use, like, Moon Cycle things unless you start with a huge density of cards. Are we stealing apples from schoolboys? Sure, that's one way to put it, I suppose. Does feel a little bad that I'm not allowed to play out my Frozen Lances to kill these guys, but also, you know, it's not like we need to do that. It just feels wrong to leave the cards unplayed. Yeah, so, again, maybe should have killed, well, either way. Ardune's only going to get to kill one of these, because he's going to kill the other two. So, let's just suck it up and accept that. I am going to weaken him on the hope that Ardune gets the kill. And there we go. Still a little sad that I didn't let Ardune feast upon every stack of Reanimate from Undying One. We do not need Gifts for Regard. We do not need Duality. Frostpiercer is admittedly kind of cute, but really unnecessary for us. Totally normal amount of armor, by the way. Yeah. I mean, for Luna, it's not that weird, honestly. We're definitely taking capacity. I mean, I could just go here for the golds. Could go here for the event. I don't really need to heal. I don't really need anything. I guess we're going here. Alright, he has a Mage Blade 6, and so he is empowering himself by 240 immediately. Imagine Luna armor spells on Apex Imp. I don't have to imagine. I've done it. Not on stream, but, you know. Turns out it is quite good, especially if you can empower Tidal Turning, since it's an AoE option. You can then use multiple Apex Imps together on the same floor. It's pretty nice. Yeah. Well, once again, we'll take Bone Dog's Pendant. There's just absolutely no reason for us to take Bone Dog this late. Because even if he survives for the next two fights, he gives our Pyre an extra... Actually, maybe it is slightly more. I keep thinking that it's 10 HP, but I think it's 15 now. Nope, it is 10 HP. Yeah, even if he survived for the next two fights, we would get 20 HP, whereas the Pendant is 25 HP. Like, the only way that we would get more benefit out of that is if I dupe him with, like, Hall of Mirrors. And that's not worth my time. Just not worth it. Anyways, do I actually care about anything here? And I think the answer is no. Because, again, the only thing that I maybe would care about would be, like, Void Armament. And I think that's really unnecessary, and we would prefer to leave it for one of the other runs anyways. Not that I've gotten to use Void Armament on, like, any of these runs. Because I keep talking about Void Armament in a lot of the runs we've done with other champions, and then we still are just never offered it. Alright, we do need to draw into Phase Blessing, which is the problem of this. He's not dead yet, though. There's a high chance we hit one of the two Phase Blessings. Somehow, we did not. Okay. Interesting problem. Oh, whoops. No, this still works. I do that, and then the Crypt Builder is not quite enough, but that is. Alright, feels real bad, but that's fine. Unfortunately, I don't get attuned on the Phase Blessing. On the other hand, it doesn't super matter. Yeah, so let's do that, and then... Yeah, I'm just not going to have nearly as much armor as we've been getting in the last couple fights, but that's still going to be inconsequential overall. Well, we keep taking a little bit of damage from those, which is sad, but not unexpected. But it is part of why I wanted to get holdover on, like, Bloody Moon. Okay, so we do have the stronger ones here. And then he's surviving, but it's not going to matter, because he's not going to get to the pyre before the end of the fight, no matter what. If I was truly worried about things, I could have sort of done other things. Okay, we have just enough now that we're killing you, which is nice, because I don't want to have to deal with their Scourge cards. We could manage the Scourge cards regardless, but it's nice not to have to. Yeah. I don't have any way to, like, pull these guys to the front to make them viable kills for Ardoon. And even if I did, then the Moon Guards would still just murder them. Regardless, it's fine. It was a bit sketchy because I didn't draw the Phase Blessing in a reasonable time frame. Moonbeam is not bad for us, but we're not going to take it. Glittering Draft is also okay, but mostly doesn't solve my problem. I really just need to hit the Phase Blessing as soon as possible. And we have multiple ways to try to fix that. Does not help. I guess I will take that. It's just good to have if you're going into the Titan fight. Totem Fragment, I guess? I mean, I don't really need it. Okay, we're definitely intrinsicing that. Yeah, very few things matter about my deck at this point. Fine. It doesn't really matter, but I'm doing it anyways. And then as far as duping, the Bloody Moon's okay. The Phase Blessing is also an option. I also gonna do that, I guess. And we were going to... Oh, I should have done that differently. I forgot that Holy Stone was an option. Otherwise, I would have held the slot open for the Crypt Builder. I mean, again, not that it really matters. We're not going to lose by any means. But would have been nice. I could get rid of both Cuddle Hexes, but I also, like, don't care. So I either dupe the Phase Blessing or I dupe the Bloody Moon. And I guess I'll just dupe the Bloody Moon. It doesn't matter. None of this matters. I guess we'll set up on top floor. Alright, 69 armor right off the bat. Turns out he's got a helpful amount of conduit. Okay. So you're dead. Yeah, we'll just do that, I guess. I missed the halfway point. Bullet wasn't so bad then. Nope. I mean, we had some, like, sketchy things on Bullet happen, but overall, it wasn't too bad. Namely, the second run, we got kind of close to losing, but... Alright, we'll just play that out, not take the damage, that barely matters. But yeah, the second run got real rough going into Savagery, but it's not a big issue. We made it work just fine. I forgot that you have spell weakness. Again, not that I really need to kill these guys. I have enough attacks to wipe the whole floor, and I definitely have enough armor to do that. I really hate how loud that sound is when it applies the spell weakness to them all at once. Also, that's a little bit of a waste, but that's okay. Well, even with how much damage is being absorbed by the enemies, we're still doing 900 damage here. It's a bit of a shame that our that the Offering Monument doesn't also have Mage Blade. If sounds obnoxiously loud, bug it. As in, you mean reported as a bug? Yeah, I am on the testing team. I do normally report all sorts of things like this. I just have not encountered this one in a while. Forgot. I will mention it after stream is over. I just don't like taking the time to do that while stream is ongoing. Oh boy. Oh, and they do have him. Luckily he doesn't affect our conduit or the split anvil. And so then we can kill you. So it doesn't get in the way of everything, so. That's fine. We do less damage to the Seraph, but I don't care. We're not killing Seraph before Relentless one way or another. Technically, I could sort of do that in different order, but it doesn't matter. Again, enemies don't really get to hurt me. And even if they... Like, I have so much armor that it is inconsequential. Okay. So you're dead. You're dead. And then we just do our thing. Technically, it doesn't matter who I play these on. And our Dune is finally at a point where you can kill one of these guys unassisted. I mean, sort of been there for a while, but it doesn't look as impressive because he does have a lot of sap on right now. So currently there's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 enemies? 6. It's just hard to see them all. So our Dune kills 1, and then 1, 2, 1, 2. So if I don't do anything to them, our Dune gets 2 kills. In which case, fine. They actually do even less damage because I'm not on New Moon, so they have dramatically less Mage Blade. Plus all the sap. Anyways, didn't get the Seraph kill. Oh well. That's fine. We've done overall a good job of getting slays with our Dune. Obviously, it can be a lot more if you find a way to get him trample, or you're giving multi-strike, or both. Or if you have, like, spikes or shield of wing or anything like that. But even so, we got 56 slays. That's not so bad. How you doing, Glacier? We should be okay on bottom floor. And it definitely helps us in the long run, so here we go. Doing good. Glad to hear it. Give him Iron Tongue, too. Yeah, kind of, but then it also doesn't matter because it locks his attack. And that is exactly what we like to avoid. Okay, we're gonna start knocking off your spell shields. And unfortunately, this takes up one of the draws in hand, which is always frustrating. You don't have to always give him Iron Tongue. Yes, I'm aware, but I'm just saying, overall, it's not the most helpful thing. I recognize that you're saying, give him Iron Tongue long enough that he can get the kills, don't equip it later. I do get that. But okay. We don't really need the Crypt Builder to get enhanced, so we do this. And then it's only gonna hit one of the phase blessings, but again, what does it matter? Yeah, we're gonna do that. I don't think we're really gonna struggle to kill Entropy or Savagery, so. All the stupid sap. Well, unhelpful, but fine. Okay, everyone survives, even if I did draw pretty poorly. But if I really needed to, if I was concerned about that, which I wasn't, because I knew that we were building up armor from Silent Sigil and other things, I could have held on to one of the Bloody Moons for that turn. Because we know what turn they come out on, it's deterministic. But I do think I actually want to leave it on this so we can just beat him down pretty hard. Unfortunately, this is another weird, annoying quirk about this fight. Is like Savagery stops blocking front attacks, does not stop blocking front spells. So the Frozen Lance will do 0 damage to him instead of going through to hit Entropy, which is annoying that that's how it works. So, instead, we're just going to do a little bit of damage here. Ta-da. Technically, I still need to kill Entropy. Not really worried about that. Why? I mean, I know my deck doesn't have that many things in it, so it's pretty likely that we're going to draw into Vengeful Shard. Still not what I want to draw, though. Well, anyways, Entropy's down, Savagery's down, which means we now start Crypt Buildering his bitch ass. Yeah. Well, that's disappointing, but not a big deal. So we're actually not killing everything here because of the reanimate. Yeah. That's not a big deal, really. But it would have been nice to have the Bloody Moon for exactly that reason. But even so, we're just gonna do this. Oh look! Coincidentally, he's dying. There we go. Ta-da! Well, that went pretty nicely. So Battleborn's the one I was most worried about. But we ended up having a pretty smooth amount of slays. Because we did a good job in some of the early fights, getting just enough damage to whittle enemies down for Ardoon to get the kill. God, Mage Blade applied is always such a weird one, because it's not really actually applying Mage Blade. It's that the Moon Guards get it on full moon, or get on new moon, lose it on full moon. Like, and so they just... It's not really giving extra Mage Blade. Moon Guard bailout. Yeah, the Moon Guards were a fabulous pickup for us. We could have done it without that. Like, there's other things I could have done, and we did skip on a lot of cards that could have helped if we needed it. But the Moon Guards were a great pickup for us. And the Offering Monument did some solid work. We were not, like, the best deck for Offering Monument by any means, but it did certainly help. Would be way more annoying without them. Oh, for sure. We definitely would have had a much worse Titan fight in particular, just because it would have been harder for us to get the wave clear, and therefore harder to get the damage to stick on Entropy. Again, we still could have done things like take the Ice Storms and use those as like a damage spell to help wipe waves, among other options. That's not what I'm trying to do. What am I trying to do? There it is. Okay, so this was Battleborn with Time Father, which mattered basically not at all. Also goes off screen. You know what? We're just going to call it Time, so I don't have to alter things. Cuddle Hex, which did good work for us early. And then Offering Monument. And Moon Guard. And I believe that was all the units. For spells, Phase Blessing is definitely like the most impactful one to lose. It's very good. There are other options in this clan, or clan combo, I should say, but it is definitely an important tool to be losing. Crypt Builder, and then Silver Ink. And I believe that's everything. There's not that much stuff in our deck. Yeah, we don't have any rooms, don't have any equipment. That should be everything. Okay. So, on to the next run. For Pyre, what do we want? So, on both of these, Bogworm is okay. Because with Mystic Hammer, it's fairly reasonable that we look for something like Shade Guard, which is naturally a 3 capacity unit. We could also just do like Sirens, that's also pretty decent. But either way, Sirens or Shade Guards or whatnot, Bogworm is pretty good. Herzl's Horde, yeah, is obviously quite good. I just have been trying to avoid using like Herzl's Horde and Fear's Greed as like my defaults, because they are definitely among the best just like general pyres. Although we barely use Fear's Greed. I think we used it maybe once for Avarice Gilda, and I think I've avoided it in basically every other situation. I'm probably also just trying to decide which one I want to run next. I think if given the option, we take Mystic Hammer. But both of these are pretty solid in this clan combo. Like, Hierophant has a number of good options. We can get, like, Nightingales with it. We can get, like, Sirens with it. All of those are pretty good. Even just putting, like, Titan Sentry and backing that up with whatever is decent. There's a lot of okay options. And then Mystic Hammer, ideally we get like Shade Guard, but even if we don't get Shade Guard, we can just back it up with Sirens. We can get other things. Like there's options. I think we're starting with Bogworm. see what's offered. Okay. I do always appreciate it when it's totally new cards. So, we have to take Mystic Hammer. I will absolutely take Guildmarker. Admittedly, Volatile Gauge is not bad monstering 2. It is worse when half my starting deck is 0-cost cards. But Guildmarker is just solid value, obviously. Like, we're gonna buy a bunch of things, and having those things cost less is good. So, you're going there. I think we're just putting you there as well. Okay. Oh, whoops, wrong ordering. I was thinking opposite for some reason, that I needed to, well, do that in the opposite order. Turns out, I don't. I guess we put you there, because we certainly don't need you on... we didn't need to play the damage spell on Ardune's floor to get the kill. Yeah, turns out Battleborn Ardune kind of just slaps early game. I mean, it's relevant all the way through. Like, it's a surprisingly good path. Okay, we'll just daze you, and then... Oh, I could have dazed you for another turn. My bad. Whatever. Yeah, anyways, as long as we're on New Moon, which Ardune can force New Moon, he easily makes short work of this boss. Similarly, would have killed Yoriel early as well. Okay, so we can't take Bloody Moon. Celestial Storm is not bad. It does kind of cover one of our weaknesses, which is that Ardune is going to be doing a pretty hefty amount of damage, but only to a single unit, and so that can help us like wipe the rest of the floor. It's also a potential out against Savagery sweep units. We need to get more magic power for that to work, but, you know, that's doable. It's not very hard to just, like, get Conduit on some units or whatever. So we might want that. Another Starstruck is appealing, though. Especially because if we have phase control, we basically are always going to be ending the turn in New Moon until we start the next turn in Full Moon. And so the Starstrucks are very easy for us to get, like, always active. That same logic is also true of Celestial Storm, mind you, but... I think we're just going to take the Starstruck. We're going to save Offering Token, and we're not going to take Flash Freeze, and we can't take Cuddle Hex, but I also wouldn't take Cuddle Hex, so... Alright. Pray for Lunar Priestess is the path for it. Yeah, it's not absolutely necessary for us, but I would take it if offered, I think. Shade Guard is the more important pick for me right now. Or we can just take Sirens. I think I want to go here into the Merchant of Arms trying to get Eclipse Chamber. Eclipse Chamber is also good with Hierophant or Hierophant if we end up doing like Nightingales. It's quite good with Nightingales in particular. I'm gonna go here. We'll see what we're offered. Okay. Alright, I'll take the Nightingale, I guess. Okay, so I do have guild markers, so things do cost less. So if I buy one of these, I'm down to like 150. I could re-roll and I'd still have like 80. I'm just gonna do the re-roll though, I think. Unless I want to take the Incant Armor. Some of this hinges upon whether I think I'm going to need the Titan Sentry long term. And I think I'm not going to care. Interesting. Alright, we'll leave that for now. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Again, I kind of want to leave Nightingale for a different situation, but it's what we were offered, and so it's probably what we're going to play. No. Okay, but we can do that if we need to, which I'm going to do that because I don't want to risk missing it. Alright. Yeah, unsurprisingly, probably should have taken the Incant Armor for, like, this exact reason. Or you're still dying. You're going to not die this way. But still. Oh, no, you do die now. It would be nice to do the extra conduit, but I didn't want to do this. So first off, unfortunately you just kind of die to his spikes, but it doesn't matter because Ardoon just slaps him to death. And there we go. I mean, the Frostbite helps too, obviously, but... Okay. I'm gonna not take Silver Strike, I think. Could take Meddler. I don't really want to take Meddler, but I can. I'm gonna not. I'm gonna not take those. I maybe should take the Helical. Probably should take the Helical. And so I could go here looking for like a Shade Guard. Also can go here looking for Eclipse Chamber or other things like Luna Cycle Staff. Could take Iron Tongue. Could take Inferno Room. Inferno Room is sort of an out versus Savagery. Zone of Silence also gives me a little bit more build-up time, which I do appreciate as well, but it's very expensive. Mind you, I can sort of get away with just taking like double Ember if I need to. I kind of want to take that. Alright, we'll take it speculatively. I mean, Meat Shield is okay for us right now. It's not really what I want, but I will take it. And I guess I'm going to do this, even though it'd be kind of nice to leave that as an option for Dante's Footstool. I don't believe I've got any consume cards, right? I do not. Yeah, we'll take Gross Michelle. Even though we barely... Like, it's not that important to us. It helps now, but I don't like relying on it, and it's overall not that important. Okay, and then you guys will distract Archeon a little bit. Because, like, I could daze Archeon, but who cares? We're gonna do this. Unfortunately, I don't have Incant Armor, which is sad. I will get the... Yeah, Meat Shield. Which won't really help once Archeon starts hitting for, 40 damage. But, hey, here we are. Alright, well, we're at least not buffing him a ton right now. That's something, I guess. We're not quite killing you, but he will naturally die anyways. Both because he's got the Frostbite on and because he deals himself 20 damage every turn, which unfortunately is going to buff right here, but hey. I should have checked up there to see if I needed to use the Frozen Lances. I didn't. It worked out. It was fine. Yada, yada, yada. And he's not very strong right now. And as soon as we are in New Moon, and we did that just so he gets slightly more Mage Blade power, since we got the extra conduit and then swap. Anyways, we'll kill that. Yada, yada. Here we go. If he had like 40 attack right now, as Rage Archeon often does, this would be going a lot worse. But it went fine. The Meat Shield definitely helped. The Zone of Silence did not, unsurprisingly. Coven Spike is okay. Ritual Tome is sort of interesting for us. Deep Offering is good, but not for this deck. Do I want to take Ritual Tome? Not really, but I am going to take it. Ethereal Sealy. Ooh. Ooh. I don't really have anything that's relevant for Ethereal Sealy, though. But I do like it. I do like Ethereal Sealy. I feel like we probably want to take it, at least for the halving. Which is to say, I don't know if I'm ever going to get, like, crazy value out of it, but it gives us an option. Yeah, fine. We'll take it. I'll see what I can do. And we're taking Ember. Draw is also very helpful, but we're taking the Ember. That's just what we're doing. Okay. We're going here. And then hopefully we hit Holdover and Intrinsic. No. Nope. Not at all what we were looking for. Okay, well, could have been better. I don't really want to do this, but I am going to do it anyways. Alright, we're making another Starstruck. I wish that I had put Spell Chain on first, but I don't know. I probably should have done that. I wasn't sure that's what I was going to dupe, and then I made a decision last moment, and maybe it wasn't correct, but here we are. Well, we need to have a presence top floor, so that's that. Oh, I don't have capacity for the Sealy in doing that. No matter where Bogworm hits next, though, I will. Hopefully it hits bottom floor. Otherwise, I need to start getting particular about my options. Anyways, Zone of Silence does pay off, since now we are up against the Corruption guys. So now we stopped them from corrupting us at all, which is nice. We'll just play some things to get rid of them. We don't really need to be playing with the others, especially because we do have the meat shield, so we can... And of course we don't get what we need now. Oh, well, whatever. Breaking my heart. Just wanted that collector. Well, unhelpful to say the least. I mean, we still get here thanks to Urdune's big, beautiful power. I kind of want to play the Moon Ritual and then force it back to New Moon's visibility. Yeah, you know what? I will. Because we know we have Moon Rituals on this coming turn. And then, you know, here we are. Although I still end up only playing out one of them because of this. So it didn't really end up being all that helpful. Okay. Yeah, this is kind of exactly what I was trying to avoid. Well, we're going to take some damage because I made bad choices. Not a lot of damage, mind you, but more than 0. I was hoping to have gotten the Moon Ritual... Not Moon Ritual. Ritual Tome again by now, but alas, that didn't happen. Also, not putting Incant Armor on him is certainly not paid off. Well, that was a bad time for that to go extinct. But, nonetheless, as long as we're in full moon, or new moon, it goes way better. Poor Nightingale's down to doing, like, fuck all damage. Oh, yeah. That is not the room I wanted. It's not the worst room. It's not the room I wanted. Okay. God, do I want to make the pivot to Aurora Weaver? It is cute. Specifically, it would be Aurora Weaver with Ethereal Sealy. Meaning that on Moon Cycle, it starts getting Conduit 2 or 3 if I have a second one, yada yada yada. So it starts getting more and more and more Conduit on Moon Cycle, which is good. Though I do still need spells to like pair that with. I kind of want to take that as an option, especially because the Nightingale is really not paying out. I mean, the Guardian Stone is kind of nice, but again, it takes up capacity that I don't think I have. Yeah, we're just not gonna do that. Kind of with Guardian's Amulet, but that's also a no. Well, give me that sweet, delicious Cavendish. Which, for the time being, is going to make my units fairly strong, like the Nightingale will do solid work for us, but it's not going to hold true forever. Okay, so I do kind of want the Merchant Magic. I think I really want to go here and remove some cards and dupe something. Namely, probably going to be the Ethereal Sealy, even though I haven't upgraded it. Okay. You don't say. Alright, have a nice night, Fury. Do I want Celestial Sails? Great question. Kind of. It either draws me Ritual Tome or Moon Ritual, which neither of which is bad for me. Feels sort of unnecessary, but we're gonna take it. And then we're gonna start crying a little bit. Sure. And I've currently, what, 6 Deployment Ember? So if I don't do the Zone of Silence, I can play out everything, basically. I will leave that for now. That does complicate matters a little bit, but fine. Part of the issue is I don't really have defense. Which is partly why... actually, do I want the Nightingale here? I think I do. Oh, and I can get the Energy Siphon too. All the fucking good that does for me. Okay. We at least got that once. We want to get that a lot more times, though. Oh, whoops. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. We're just going to use that to get a kill anyways, so... Really would like to get the Ritual Tome again, and the Meat Shield. Yeah, it didn't actually change how much damage you were taking. Probably should have just left that as was. And by that I mean I took 1 damage for no benefit at all. I mean, whatever, we'll take the damage. I don't think I really need to keep these guys alive, but I don't know, it's still vaguely appealing to do so. Okay, yep, we have it. Again, my defense is bad. Also, I forgot to hit him while we had the right moon phase going on, but it's fine. We're alive for now. Partly because I have a lot of attacks on this floor, and the Frostbite also helps tick down his reanimate. Plus, he just doesn't have a lot on bottom floor. Which is partly why we set up on bottom floor. Okay. I will tell you right now, I do want Planetarium. I also very badly want this Moonbeam. Kind of want that Ice Tornado. Gonna skip that Ice Tornado. Definitely not taking the others. God, this would be my last dupe spot if I want to go to the Merchant of Magic. Really want to go to the Merchant of Steel, though. I think we probably want to dupe. Go here next, and then go here. And then cry. Alright, fair enough. We'll see what we can do. I could maybe take Siren Song. God, it's not really what I want to do, but it's maybe an out for some of my worst situations. It'd be very nice if I got Sigiled Seaweed to mute enemies on the first turn. Do I want Siren Song? I kind of do want Siren Song. Okay, and I have 6. If I take more Deployment Ember, I go to 10. Not 10. 8. Yeah, which is what I thought at first, and then I doubted myself for some reason. So currently, if I want to do all these things, I could do 3 for Zone of Silence. 4, 5. Oh, fuck. And I can't be setting up on a higher floor if I want to use the Aurora Weaver. Well, never mind all this. I should maybe still take the Siren Song. But I'm not going to take the Siren Song. If I do want to pivot back to the original plan, I can just take Eclipse Chamber here. The problem is I still have fuck all for defense. But it does give me attack power. I think Eclipse Chamber is the better plan. I do still kind of want to build into the Ethereal Sealy life, but it's probably not the best play. Still kind of want to do it, though. You know what? At risk of losing, fuck it. Here we are. I really wish I knew how much capacity I had on every floor. Could dupe the Ritual Tome. Not really what I want to do. I want to dupe the Ethereal Sealy, I think. Even though I know that that is likely incorrect. Yeah, I am going to get myself killed doing this, I think. I don't know, fine, here we go. Let's see what bad choices I've made in life. Okay. Alright, let's see how things go. Okay. Yeah, I really want one more capacity on this floor. Also, we didn't play Zone of Silence, which is a bit of a problem, but maybe okay. I think I probably need to play out the Zone of Silence. I thought about doing, but yeah, like getting the corruption on you really is bad for me. I mean, Ardoon does have a decent amount of HP, so I can sort of make do. But it's not good. And I didn't kill you, which means I get the Scourge card, which nobody loves. Alright. Here's what we're gonna do. I know I just did reset turn. We're actually gonna reset the battle. We're gonna play the Zone of Silence like I was originally planning to do. I try and see if I could get by not doing it, but turns out I think it's legitimately terrible for me if I don't. Although now we're not guaranteed to get the right unit on the bottom floor. We did, though. Okay. Which is everything we wanted. Also, we get the Mii Shield turn 1, which is also good. And every time it moon cycles, you get 3 Conduit, which is not bad. It's not game-winning strong, unfortunately. Especially because I've duped my Ethereal Sealies a bunch without actually having any upgrades on them, which sucks. But here we are. Anyways, we're going to do that in Dazu because I don't actually need it down here. Kind of. I guess you're not dying, but the Nightingale is going to say we'll kill you, but won't actually kill you because we'll get killed instead. But we can fix that. Yeah, like the Moonbeam's cool, but I need way better support for what I'm doing for that to become game winning. And boy, have I not made the best deck. Okay. Yeah, let's look at all that Conduit buildup. I mean, Ardoon is getting vaguely strong even while in full moon. He has 153 attack since he's got all the Mage Blade. Like, the amount of Conduit buildup is actually pretty high. It's just that it's not enough for us to deal with Savagery's waves upcoming, which is a problem. Especially because I've done no upgrades on, like, any unit. The only unit I upgraded is the, Nightingale, which is the one unit I'm not really using. There we go. But a problem for Later Sal, and who cares about that guy? Yeah, pretty much. Later Sal can figure it out. Unfortunately, Later Sal is soon to be Now Sal. But at least we get a Merchant of Steel. Also, hopefully Bogworm cooperates. Ooh, Tidal Turning is honestly not bad for us. kind of. Like, I'll take it. It is defense that I badly need. Oh god, I also wish that I had better draw, or that I had spell chain on things, neither of which I have. But, hey, here we are. Incant armor, multi-strike, whatever. Here comes the mirror event. I don't think it can show up this late. Oh god. It's not actually helpful, but I will take it anyways. Well, I was hoping for, like, dualism, but I will take what I can take, I guess. Interesting. Way too late for this to be helpful. We're gonna not take it. Like, it's sort of okay for me. It's just not what we need, though. Okay. Well, then. God damn it, Bogworm. Fucking cooperate, you piece of shit. Oh, God. Yep. Yep. Okay, but you do have stealth, too, so we should be fine as far as killing everything goes. Kind of. I guess I need to kill one of you guys, which I don't really have a plan for. I mean, it's fine if I take a little bit of damage, I guess. I mean, it's a lot of damage, but still. Alright, I'm not happy about this. I should have shot some of the guys up there, is what I should have done. I just didn't realize that I needed more than what I got. Alright, fine. My deck is a mess. If we weren't up against Savagery, we'd be in okay shape. But, again, the problem is shit like this. I do actually want you to attack in so that I get slightly more frostbite on you. Putting in, I'm not actually killing the top guy, which is probably why I'd considered taking Siren Song earlier. I mean, he does actually do some damage so long as I daze right there. It's just that, again, I'm not killing most enemies. Yeah, I'm just bleeding out. And imagine this, but much worse in one more battle. Okay, whatever. We'll just bulk up as much as we can. Also, the meat shield doesn't really matter now that I am building up armor. Yeah, it's not looking good. Nope. I really should have just done the Eclipse Chamber like I'd originally planned, but here we are. Oh, God. If I got, like, Heavenfall, that would be a way to turn it around. I was really hoping we'd get Heavenfall. That does not look like Heavenfall. It is a shot at another Eclipse Chamber, but we're going to not do that. I will take the Ice Tornado. I guess. Cool. I mean, that's sort of a thing that I want. Okay. So I could hold over the Ice Tornado. I'm pretty sure I just want to hold over Moonbeam or Starstruck. I think we're gonna do this. Yeah, I was really hoping for slightly different things, but that's still helpful. And yes, I did spend almost all my gold already. I mean, I guess we take Jack Strips. It's not really gonna solve all my life's problems, though. Yeah, we're gonna die. I'll be very honest about that. And hopefully Bogworm cooperated. But we're not in good shape, especially because I don't have Intrinsic either. Mind you, I could sort of set up on not bottom floor, but it means that I'm way weaker on the conduit front. Yeah, and it didn't cooperate. God damn it. This is why Bogworm can be frustrating. And I'm sorry, I did this slightly wrong. We don't want Zone of Silence on bottom floor, we want it on mid floor. Which again, I could set up top floor, it's just that top floor then has a bunch of other problems. But it does give me a little bit more time to scale, kind of, but I don't know. Maybe that's worth it. We'll try it this way, see what happens. Top floor space, right? It does. Okay. Well, at least we're not doing damage to my pyre directly, but that's not saying a lot. Yeah. Not exactly how we wanted things to go, but at least we're mitigating our problems a little bit. Nope, still dying at that rate. Because unfortunately with Savagery buffing this guy, he does hit way too hard. It's like, I can blow up one of them, but that doesn't matter. Okay. Back to option number 2. I will tell you right now, we're probably fucked no matter what I do here. Okay, we're going to take a radical approach of not playing these and hope that the Aurora Weaver ends up on top floor. Did not happen. Didn't help in any way, shape, or form. In fact, you are in the worst possible position for it. Oh, I didn't actually... I saw the wrong moon cycle. Yeah, my conduit gain is pretty weak without the Aurora Weaver, though. I mean, turns out most things in my life are pretty weak. But especially this. We're just gonna go ahead and daze you for 2 turns. Yeah, having the Titan Centurion back really is upsetting. I probably should just not try to be cheeky on turn 1 like that. Turns out. I don't know. I guess I'll do that. Also, admittedly, should probably just play the Nightingale on top floor. Like, you know, all the things I was being cheeky about, probably not actually very helpful. Yeah, not really how I want to do that, but technically helpful. Okay. Why would it increase the chance of it spawning on top 4 that you didn't play at the Titan Sentry? So the way Sketches works in Monster Train 2 is it spawns 1 unit per floor, and it starts at bottom. And so if we only had 1 unit in the pool, then it would automatically go to bottom 4. And I did make it so that I only have... The only non-banner unit I have is the Aurora Weaver, and so it automatically goes to bottom floor if I play out all of my banner units. If I left 2 of the banner units unplayed, it would mean that 1 of them would end up on top floor, and so it could have been the Aurora Weaver. It wasn't, but it could have been. really need the Titan Sentry up front, because otherwise you just kind of die. Yeah. Alright, let's try it one more time where we don't try to be cheeky and we just accept that the Aurora Weaver dies. There's also a world where I could have given her Endless while we were at the Merchant of Steel, and that would have been cute, but we didn't. That goes there, that goes there. Okay, so we have everything except for the Aurora Weaver on top floor, which is the best it's gonna get, I think. It's just that overall I'm pretty weak. I probably should have taken the Eclipse Chamber, because then we could have played that on top floor at some point, then we'd actually have a stacking power on our dude. And consistent power regardless of moon phase, which would be nice. I'm just gonna play that now. So he is for sure dazed, regardless of what I'm doing. Alright, and we do get the kill there. A little bit of damage in on Savagery. Well, time to take a bit of damage from the Amalgam, but, you know, we're mitigating as best we can. Ow. Unfortunately, Ardoon still wastes his attack on him. I could have done that differently by not playing out the Starstruck, which is what I should have done. Because I wouldn't have had to waste one Ember for that, and the Moonbeam would hit an additional time, which would have been nice. But I didn't. I don't know if it was enough if I didn't spend it, but God, and why? We're so close to dead. If that guy were dead, it would have worked, but unfortunately, he was not. God, I'm just bleeding out. How does this look? It's something. But I think we just lose to the Titans even if I make it past this battle. Yeah, we're maybe possible to make it past the Titans, but it's like really bad. Yeah, I'm real fucked against these guys, I will tell you that right now. Unhelpful. Yeah, it ain't great. Yep, unsurprisingly, I got myself killed. I thought that was likely not going to work out. If I had the Aurora Weaver on the floor, which it wasn't really easy for me to do, then I would have bulked up way faster. Though, I think I need more Aurora Weavers regardless. Anyways, unsurprisingly, I didn't have enough conduit gain to justify it, and I didn't have enough payoff for the conduit, and therefore, here we are. I definitely should have pivoted back to the... Well, specifically, I really just should have never pivoted away from the Nightingale. That's what I should have focused on. We eventually were offered Eclipse Chamber, and that would have worked out way better for me. We still would have had problems, but if I had that same setup where I was up on top floor, we would have had a good deal of attack gain going into the Nightingales. And if I duped that one multi-strike Nightingale multiple times, then we would have had a lot of attack. I still would have had relatively bad defense, but there were ways to sort of solve that. Regardless, mistakes were made. We died. Gotta start over. Rather than do Ardoon again, though, I think we're going to swap to different champions. Though it does sadden me to have failed midway through Ardoon. This is not what I'm looking for. What I'm trying to do is go to the tracking sheet. There we go. Okay, so sad that we lost with Ardoon. Who are we going to play next? Kind of want to do Phoenix. Maybe Grail. Maybe Soulguard, but we're just playing Stygian. Talos I also want to do. Maybe we do Talos next? Yeah, I guess we're gonna do Talos. But who are we pairing Talos with? I lean towards maybe doing Hellhorns. For a number of reasons. They technically have more movement spells to proc Celestial Radiance. They've got like Horned Warrior and Sword of Railbeater, which work decently well with Enchantress or Battle Cleric. Not to mention all the like actual banished stuff. And then they've got armor, they've got decent stuff. The problem is like the armor stuff doesn't always work super well with Valor stuff. But it's pretty decent. Obviously there's a bunch of other good options as well. Like just anything that has force multipliers works well with Talos. Like we could do things with like Awoken, or we do things with Lazarus. Even Luna has some decent stuff. But I think we'll do Hellhorn, especially because we haven't been using Hellhorns for secondary for any of these clans. So we'll do that. We definitely want the torches, not the Implings. As far as this goes, great question. Bogworms is still good for her, because it allows us to put more units on a floor before flying Talos on there without relying on overstacking. Which overstacking isn't too difficult to do with these two clans, but again, I have to stretch that across 3 different runs, and that makes it a lot harder. Aquath is okay. There's a couple things in both clans that would want the high Ember. Wing Spirit is awful. Herzl's is quite good. Time Father is okay. And Savagery is okay. I guess just to mix things up, we're going to do Aquaths. Don't know what we're using it for, but we'll have it. Interesting start. Not sure what to feel about that. I think we're taking Guild Marker. I don't know, like, Dante's Footstool is nice. It's just very easy for it to whiff on being important in any way. I think we just want Guild Marker. Okay, so we have Enchantress and Celestial Radiance. Okay. I kind of want to do Celestial Radiance because we have the Rising Rages. And they're pretty good for that. I think that's worth doing. Okay, that's fine. That's what we're doing. I do need to find ways to get attack buffs on my units, because, you know, we need to hit for reasonable damage, otherwise it doesn't matter that we're applying a bunch of melee weakness. I guess we're gonna do that. And do that, and then just give some Valor. I'll take the 1 damage, who cares? Yes. Thank you, Torch. God, it's so nice to have actual backline access. Nothing is more infuriating than having no backline access. Alright, Talos takes a tiny bit of damage, especially because she doesn't have Valor to refresh it. But that's okay. I guess I'll play that there. I don't know. Yeah, the Titan skin really does cause me some grief. I just don't do real damage. Alright, well, we do a little bit of damage to Uriel. We are going to save Talos' melee weakness for the coming turn. Yeah, unless we had gotten, like, the Rising Rage here. We do have a Rising Rage next turn, which is cute. And we are stacking armor on everybody. Like, we are in good shape. Anyway, so we move you up front, and then we move you right back, and then we hit for a chunk. Like, yeah, our dude only has 15 attack, but it still ends up being 44 damage to start things off. And then we just kind of chunk him down. There we go. Didn't use Aquas at all. Should have used it early on, so we could have played out like one of the Vengeful Shards, but oh well. Don't want Penitence Bloodsuit. Don't really want the Warbler. I do think we want Divinity. Yeah. Yeah, we do. We're not using the Fledgling Imp. Don't think we're taking the Hornbreak. So we want to go here for a number of reasons, not least of which being that we would like to see a shift unit. Happily, we'll take Demonic Fledgling. I will happily do Holdover Rising Rage. I would also love to do like Intrinsic Divinity or Intrinsic Rising Rage, though that matters a little less, kind of. I guess I'm willing to do that. It's not really what I want, but that's fine. The Steelworker doesn't matter too much, kind of. It's nice in that it still gives armor to anything that's not ending up in the front to get the Valor armor. But we'll see. It's just really, do I want to, I guess I can get them both on the floor, kind of. So do I want to move Talos now or not? I'm actually not going to move Talos yet. And I could use the torch. We're not gonna use the torches because I'd have to use Aqua Rats. Okay, so... we're gonna do this. And then we're gonna do some things. Alright, they now have a bunch of melee weakness on them, and I have a bunch of units on this floor. Because they got some melee weakness for Talos moving, then they got more for each of the other guys moving and ascending, and yada yada yada. Here we are. Sure. We've reached the max. Oh, never mind. We're not killing most things by doing that. Partly because the Welder Helper is the one who eats the melee weakness, which is not particularly helpful to anybody. That looks a lot better. Okay. We're gonna move around a bit just so we can get his Valor up. Yeah, that's fine. And then... yeah, I mean, one way or another, I have to kill. It's not a big deal. Also, I could have just shot the backliner and heavily reduced their damage output. One way or another, we got it just fine. Cleave is good. We're gonna save it for later. Divinity is fine. We already have one. Might be worth taking another. And with Aquaths, it is certainly easier to play. Another Rising Rage is probably what we want, though. I will take another Rising Rage. It does come with Calcified Ember. Oh, well. Hidden Passage, nice. Don't really need it. Fortified Pauldrons, don't really need. Vent is okay. I'm gonna skip, though. Maybe should have taken the Vent. Merchant of Arms is fine. I think we just want Merchant of Magic, because there's a lot we can do with that. Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Also, in the ideal world, we get the, like, Armor Dancer here. Nope, unsurprisingly. Do I want to take a Battle Dancer? I think the answer is no. Also, should have looked at the shop first. Unless I did look at the shop and already forgot, in which case, you know, who knows. So I do kind of want Intrinsic Rising Rage. I think that's what we're doing. I could also do it on this one, but I kind of want to leave that open for Spell Chain. I also kind of want it for Intrinsic for Divinity, but we're going to do this, I guess. That's pretty low cost and pretty relevant. Spell Chain will go there. And I guess I'm willing to take double stack on that, even though it's questionable how much value we actually are going to get out of it. Well, we certainly don't need the Endless. Kind of. Vaguely, we could make use of it in that we could make a chump blocker. Because we have the holdover Rising Rage. So even if we have to play it on mid-floor, we can then just move it to top floor again next turn. It's not like the worst thing. Don't really love it. One-Horn's Tome is okay. It's not really what we need. And Ritual Tome is okay, but I'm just not going to worry about it. Maybe would be decent. And it would certainly help me against Archeon right now, kind of. In the ideal world, though, we just build up our Valor armor, and then Archeon doesn't matter. Okay. Okay, we get rid of the one Calcified Ember, which I think was our only Calcified Ember. We don't do crazy good work with melee weakness, but that's fine. And thus, we get to work. So we want to move something else first, so then we can move him so he gets the Valor armor at end of turn. Because he's going to get the greatest value out of it. And no, I don't care that Archeon's hurting my Pyre. If I really needed to, I could move him to a higher floor. But we don't really need to concern ourselves with that. Like, yes, he's going to do a lot of damage. No, that doesn't matter in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, I did mess up the ordering on this. Let's do that in the correct order. Doesn't really matter. We're not getting crazy good value no matter what I do here. Yeah, that's how we wanted to do it, though that's still not ideal. Yeah, we don't, like, do a lot of damage to Archeon because my backliners do fuck all damage. And so it doesn't matter that they're getting a bunch of extra damage on top of it, it just doesn't mean anything. Yeah, not exactly how I'm going to do that, but that's fine. It's okay. I can continue taking damage from Archeon, but again, I posit the question, who cares? I'm definitely not being the most efficient in my manners here, but it's working out okay. No, I don't have enough for that. But I can do that, although we do waste her shift for the next turn, but that's fine. I think it's worth it getting the extra units up here. And either way, it doesn't matter. We're just that good. And soon we're going to be way stronger than we currently are. Because soon we're going to upgrade the Demonic Fledgling and we're going to get rid of some of this chaff and replace with delicious, delicious additional fledglings. Gonna tell you right now, Death Metal Hymnist, kind of appealing. Sanctuary is also pretty nice. I kind of want to take the Death Metal Hymnist, though. With Holdover, Rising Rage, it's... well, and Aquaths, to be clear. It's just way more reliable. I think we'll take that. We are definitely going to skip on these. I could take another Demonic Fledgling, though, actually. You know what? I will take another Demonic Fledgling. And then we're going to take Ember. Unfortunately, I don't have a lot of gold. Because I did spend basically all my gold. Nonetheless, we're going here. And we're going to hope that it pays off. It doesn't super matter. Celestial Radiance 2. Echo Vault and Bloodthirsty Blade. We're definitely not taking either of those. I mean, the Bloodthirsty Blade's kind of nice, but it's just not important. Okay, you're gonna get that. I could do this. I just also don't think I care. Okay. It's fine. We're not gonna worry about it. Yeah, not exactly what I was hoping for, but that's okay. Is that good enough? Is there anything that I'd prefer to search for? And I think the answer is that's good enough. Yeah, that's good enough for now. I'd like to get rid of a lot of cards. Especially now that we have the draw -1 trial. We're not going to have a very good, clean, consistent turn. That's okay. Yeah, perhaps should have done this slightly differently, but that's okay. Oh, I can just flat cast you here. I was thinking I had to get more special about all this. Not at all true. Okay. Would love it if I had quick on these guys. Mostly not that important. Yeah, also would love it if the correct one was up front. But I could also just do something like this, which is not terrible. Yep, that is not what I wanted to draw, but it is what I will use. But again, this is why I need to thin out my deck, because I'm largely just drawing chaff. But there we go. You're taking some damage, but mitigating it. And in fact, we'll kill that, so you are not losing as much HP, which is, say, none. Yeah, we'll just give the whole team Valor. I mean, we're at a point where things don't matter that much. I have decent attack gain. It's only going to get better as time goes on. Especially if I can dupe this Rising Rage. So I also very much want to dupe the Fledglings. Overall, we're in good shape. Yeah, I don't actually need to get too fancy here. I definitely did not do this in the way that I meant to do it, but also it doesn't matter. And this way, he loses a bit of the Steelworker armor, but refreshes it with the Valor armor. It hardly matters. Also, I probably should just be ascending these guys this turn. But also, who cares? Alright, it's time to murder Ajax. Good old buddy, good pal. Yes, it looks bad for a moment. No, it's not actually bad. Because first off, we can kill his buddies, which dramatically reduces the problem. But also... Oh, I actually meant to have him end up in front, and then I spaced out. Doesn't matter. We waste... Oh no, we don't waste it because he gets sapped so much that he doesn't get to attack. Anyways, there we go. We explode Ajax very quickly. And then we make decisions about life. And I think we're okay not taking the Sanctuary. And I think we'd rather save that for later. Were this not hat trick, I would definitely tank Sanctuary. Benediction would also be very appealing. But we will leave it. Dark Deal is good, but I think we don't need it. Tiresome Climb, also very good. I think we're skipping on those, though, because they're very useful tools for a different world. As much as I'd like the Merchant Steel, we want to dupe, and so we're going to dupe. What we're going to do, I haven't totally decided yet. I can potentially dupe 3 times, which is pretty good. I don't actually need more intrinsic. Just looking for holdover, I guess. Zone of Silence. Yeah, we don't really need these. Okay. So we either want to make more Demonic Fledglings or we want to make more Rising Rages. I think we start with Demonic Fledgling. And then we start removing some garbage. Because there's a lot of things that just do not help us right now. Which is to say, basically everything that isn't Rising Rage and Demonic Fledgling and the Death Metal Hymnist is not really in our ideal outcome anymore. It's a little more complicated than that, but mostly it's that complicated. Heaven Seal should be fine. The enemies are not that strong, and I am. Okay. Yeah, I guess we do this and then just build up some Valor. Unfortunately, because I put the holdover on not the intrinsic one, I don't draw into the Rising Rage as soon as I would want. Yeah, that's fine, because we're still going to be able to play everything else out. We just have to fly the correct dude in front. Or I could fly Talus in front and use this somewhere, which I think we do want to do it that way. Are Demonic Fledglings basically Apex Imps for Banished lore-wise? Honestly, I don't know. But I think yes. I don't know. I just have not followed the lore. Really of either game, but especially of Monster Train 2, I didn't really follow it. Okay, whatever. It's not particularly ideal. That's fine. Okay, let's just do this so we can get more delicious, wonderful, beautiful shifts going. Yeah, I'm joking because you paired them with Steelworker like Apex Sims. Gotcha. That does make sense. Did not make the connection, but I do get it now. And then... just for my own sake, we do that. Did we need to do that? No! But that's okay. We're just gonna murder Quoto. I mean, like, I don't do all that much damage yet. Because I missed out on a lot of shifts to get to that point. But it doesn't matter. I mean, Lead Songbird and Punk Shredder are both kind of cute since I have the holdover Rising Rage. I don't really need them, but I kind of want the Trample. Also, Lead Songbird is not actually that good for me because most of my power is coming from Rage, not Valor. I do still generate some Valor, it does still give me some benefit, it's just not nearly as much as it could be elsewhere. It's really just, do I want Punk Shredder? I kind of do. How many units am I currently at, like, that I care about? Because there's 3, 4, 5, kind of 6. Could take it. Yeah, I'll take it, I guess. We are not taking those. We're going here if for no other reason than the removals. The healing is also not bad for me. No. Could take Steward's Quarters to overcome my problems. Or Exile's Diadem for a similar reason. I don't think I really want to take them, but I am in a position where I do kind of wish that I had more capacity. I could just take capacity from the boss upgrade. I kind of would like to take draw, but I'm going to be able to get my deck thin enough that the draw doesn't matter a ton. I think we just don't worry about it. Maybe take capacity at the next upgrade. I'll make a decision soon. Also, Damage Shield is not the one I really want to see here. I mean, I guess Damage Shield's fine. We have enough hits that it shouldn't be a problem, and it's probably better for us than other options. And I did play this in the wrong ordering, but that's fine. Yeah, no, let's do this correctly. The problem is I need whoever ends up in front to be able to survive Kale's hit. And so I was supposed to play one of the 30 health Demonic Fledglings down there, so then I can do this. It does mean that he misses out on a little bit of shifting, kind of, but it is important. Okay, so Talos goes there. Then that happens, and you're not quite as strong as your friends, but needs, must, and all that. Okay. Yeah, this is an issue. Well, sadly can't play with the Hymnist. And unfortunately, because they give both damage shields and spell shields, the torch doesn't actually do anything for me there. God, it's been so long since I played him that I forgot that's the sound he makes. Fortunately, it doesn't hit all of them. But it hits enough of them. Yep, anyways. We're doing okay. I'm not doing so great on the whole defense situation. Maybe skipping the Benediction and the other things was perhaps a little too greedy, but we'll see what we can do. Yeah, you have by far the most Valor. We'll see what we can do. Like, I'm not dying, but I am a bit weak on defense. Weaker than I want to be, for sure. Unfortunately, I don't get to play that one, which is a fairly big loss. But here we are. Yeah, that's whatever. I kind of expected this might happen. It's fine. I lose one, but I get more attacks on everybody else, and I'm still not leaking anything. Wow, losing as usual. How dare you? How dare you, good sir? I mean, we did lose earlier today already, but... I was trying to avoid taking the Vengeful Shard damage, but really it doesn't matter. I should not be awake. It is late for you. It's not at all late for me, but it's very late for you. No great way to shift what I want to shift. Fine, we'll just do like that and almost kill KO. Get normal sleep schedule, weirdo. How dare you? I spelled weirdo wrong. I'm cooked. It is a bad sign for you. Okay, let's just do this. And ignore all those problems. It's not like the best turn for us, but it does kill KO, and that's all that matters here. Okay, my deck is not as good as we want it to be. If I could get quick on like one of the demonic fledglings, that maybe would help. Last Stand is cute. I don't think I need to save it for any other run, but I mean it still could be good on the others, but I'm pretty okay with taking Last Stand, even though it's expensive. And I think we take Capacity. Okay, there is a Merchant Magic that we're gonna go to. Let me go here. Who cares about the healing? And thus we get melee weakness 3 on shift, which is a lot. Sure. I wish that we had remove consume, so we could remove consume and then -2 that. I cannot. I don't want intrinsic on it, but I do want it to cost less. I mean, I think we're doing that and just let it cycle. I'm gonna get my deck thin enough that it's not too big of an issue, but it does feel bad. Doing alright, Tiny? How about you? I think we're just duping the Rising Rage. Duping the Last Stand is also okay, but this is definitely by far the better for me. It just gives me way better control over where units end up. And I'm more likely to draw into it faster. My dude, you wouldn't believe me if I told you. I mean, that's because you're an unreliable person, Tiny. I think that says more about you than me. I didn't actually mean to play Talos there, but that's fine. And no, I'm not planning this out as well as I could be. That's fine. You arbitrarily get to be the one who ends up in front. I mean, I could just Last Stand now. It's honestly not bad. Takes us from 30 attack to 60. I mean, we'll wait, I guess, but... Right. Yeah, unfortunately, doing this means I won't be able to do the Calcified Ember this turn. But I do really want to get him on the right floor. And I guess we'll put you up front and then give you the Valor. Unfortunately, we now have the Silence loser up here. Truly the worst of all worlds. And you are actually threatening a kill. Yeah, that is annoying. Yeah, this is where my bad defense really shows through. Okay, well, we'll sacrifice the Steelworker, I guess. Not happy about it. Yeah, I don't know. It's not good. So I got to up my prescription yesterday afternoon because I have an appointment with my GP at 11:45 today. Tell me it hasn't been sent over, and I'm like, well, fuck it, I'll be late, cancel if they haven't sent it. So at 8:30, more than an hour ago, I got a phone call asking if I'd come in for this time, when it's taken me 45 minutes to get my prescription, plus minus the 3 minutes it took me to sit down. But I just don't get which inept fuck-up decided to not send my prescription over when I have severe pain on my files. Just a little fuck my dude, have some pride in your work. Yeah, I mean... yeah, it's not great. I've seen enough people... Yeah, I bet you feel bad now, don't you, Sal? Not really. I mean, that's a bad day, but, like... I've spent enough time secondhand dealing with prescription problems that this is weirdly not surprising to me. It's not great that it's not surprising to me, but it is not surprising to me. Okay, we're gonna send you up there so I can use my spells. The problem is that everything sucks. And I'm not playing out the Punk Shredder. I really need better Valor or Armor generation. I mean, mostly I just need to wait till the boss spawns and then just blitz them down. Or sacrifice some Pyre HP, but I was trying not to. Well, you have a little bit of Rage, and you're gonna get a little bit of Valor. Oh god, I just don't have good Valor generation. But yeah, now I have like 10 minutes to sit down and enjoy my cucumber and Red Bull as I take my meds and meme on you. Not like cucumber, Red Bull, gazpacho separately, just enjoy it together. Fair enough. Okay, I think I just have to sacrifice some HP there. Okay, he takes the least damage. I generate a lot of fucking melee weakness, because that's just what we do. I take 1 damage, whatever, fine. He takes so much damage. These guys just hurt very badly. Okay, so first off, let's get you out of there. Secondly... Alright, let's see what we can do by just doing this. Oh, whoops. I don't have enough for the last stand that way. Okay, so I can do one of these. Oh, fuck me. I forgot already that that doubles. Let's try this one more time. See if I can do this. It's not great. Again, my utter lack of defense is really fucking me on this fight. And it wouldn't have been quite as bad if I had done things. There we go. I was pretty sure it would work as long as I did things in the right order. Like, it's still bad because I am losing most of my squad before they even get a chance to attack, but then we just delete a Thane, and it's all good. Wings Radiance is cute. Not really necessary here. Neither any of those. Nope. Don't need those, though honestly could use the armor. Okay. I think we're just going here. I would like to dupe, but I would also like other things. The split anvil is way too late to be helpful. I will take that, I guess. Firestone housing is not unwelcome. Okay, yeah. I'm also gonna take that. Unfortunately, the Sky Song Trumpet, I mostly think I'm gonna not end up playing things on the same floor. Okay, we'll do that to you, I guess. Okay, so how many units do I actually have that I care about? So we got Talos, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that does work if I want to do that. So we're going to give you HP and... Nope, should have done that differently. Should have given you the HP. That's fine. We'll give you the Titanite. It's fine. It's not exactly what I meant to do. Yeah, the chance that that happens is very low. I still kind of want to take it just for the sake of it. But fine. So how much deployment ember do I need? So I've got 6, and so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I don't need to get rid of the shield steward. It's almost certainly a waste, but we'll take the Sky Song Trumpet. Either way, we should be in dramatically better shape now. Now that we have Quick, and we have more Valor gain, since we gain Valor every time our dudes shift, essentially. Also, I have just more HP to work with and all that. Yeah, I kind of forgot that I sort of wanted to leave space open for the Hymnist. But I also don't think it matters a ton. So, oh, it just looks weird because he's moving up to where he gets sapped. Although if I, like, hover off and then back on, it doesn't. Anyways, whatever, that's fine. What do you think is harder, Savagery or Dominion? It's definitely Savagery, but I also think people overestimate by how much. People do act like Savagery is an incredible, awful burden to overcome, and it's not. Like, it is painful, but it's not that ridiculous. There's a lot of different ways to overcome the sweep enemies and the melee weakness. Dominion can be a problem, though, especially because it also kind of forces you into setting up bottom floor, because if you are ignoring the... you're the one who is Quick. If you ignore the Scourge generating dudes, they really quickly will mess with you. I should have done this differently. Yeah, I think I still want the Divinity, even though I think I wanted it on the guy who ends up in front. And I messed up the ordering, but that's fine. Okay, so... yeah, unfortunately you don't hit everyone when you shift. But well, we do shave off half his health. And we do so much damage. Unfortunately, we now have silence, but I can mitigate that if I need to. Yeah, I'll just take the 1 damage. That's not the worst. I kind of want to bring Savagery or the Seraph up here this turn, but we're not going to. We're just going to go for the big, beautiful shift plays. Yeah, I take 1 damage. It's fine. I'm not, you know, at full health, but that's not a big deal. Okay, so... so we shift you up. Shift you back, and then shift you front. And then, unsurprisingly, we have the kill. Because they have 15 melee weakness, and he just hits in for, you know, 1,500, and then another 2,000 some. Even with all the sap, doesn't matter. I did take a lot of damage, because I forgot that the guy that I moved up to top floor was being buffed by the Enchanter Ardents, whatever they're called. Which was a big mistake. I was thinking that it was only going to do 1 damage to me. Totally spaced out that he had been getting the attack bonus. And hit me for 30. But that's fine. We'll still manage. Just feels dumb. Okay. Okay, we're gonna do it like this, I guess. Just so if I do draw in the Hymnist this turn, I can play it directly on the floor, which I didn't, of course. Which is fine. I do miss out on a little bit of melee weakness this way, but I care more about just getting the rage on my dudes. I mean, that's not a bad start, but we're not going to. We're also not going to play with the Calcify Ember. We'd love to get rid of it, but it's more important that I can use Aquas on the turn that I draw the Hymnist if I need to. I.e. right now. Because sadly, we do not live in a world where we get... yeah, we'll bring you up front. Except you die. Didn't play that correctly. Don't mind me as we fix this. Trying to maximize shifts, but I unfortunately need the ones that have higher HP to take the brunt of things. I guess we're doing the Pyrelite. Really do want to play out Dominion or Divinity, but whatever, fine. Also, I get the Scourge cards now, which nobody likes. Whatever, we'll take the Scourge damage. I just don't want to slow down killing Dominion. God, I didn't kill that guy, so I still get the other Scourge cards. It feels so bad. Yes, you would survive if I leave you in front. Well, let Talos take a bit of a beating. Okay. It'll be fine as soon as we start giving them melee weakness. Oh, whoops, I didn't play the Pyrelite. I do want to play the Pyrelite. I actually probably don't even need all the shifts. I can probably get rid of the Scourge as well. Which, maybe I should. You're getting low-ish, but that shouldn't matter too much. Yeah... Yeah, that's fine. We'll just spread out some of the corruption and damage and all that. God, this is the price I pay of not getting rid of that guy on turn 1. I do wish that I had gotten rid of him, but I didn't. And it is annoying because of it. Even though I'm not moving my mouse, it's weirdly glitching out the things. Weird. Anyways, not important. Cat, what are you doing? Yeah, I was pretty sure you die if I do that, which I didn't really want you to. But also, it doesn't super matter. I mean, we'll just send you up front, and I'll take the Scourge damage. We're just waiting for Dominion to die. Although maybe it does actually matter. Well, okay. I can make it work no matter what. Because worst case, I just do things. Okay, we'll take some damage, but we're not dead. Again, this would be a lot less close if I hadn't let myself take 30 damage in the last fight. Also, here's the last stand, which I have not used to any good effect whatsoever, unfortunately. Anyways, it's dead. We could also, if we needed to, ascend him to our floor. And so then we could also have done that to dodge his damage, which I could have been doing elsewhere in this fight. I was just trying to avoid doing it because I was already taking a lot of damage on my dudes. Anyways, 57 damage, not great, but it's fine. We survived. And that's what we get for having basically no defense. We had plenty of offense. Even with a not particularly great shift deck, our dudes were still stacking up real nicely, and we were putting out, 15-ish melee weakness thanks to Talos. And that was pretty good. Pretty good. Regardless, there we go. Let's record what we used. And try not to just lose on run number 2 this time. So this was Celestial Radiance. And that was with... sorry, I was blanking out. That was with Aquath. And of course it goes off screen because Celestial Radiance is just such a long name. Of course. Oops. Okay, well, good enough. Anyways, don't mind me and my fiddling. So for units, we had Demonic Fledgling. And we had Punk Shredder and Steel Worker and Death Metal Hymnist. Not too bad. Losing the Steelworker and the Fledgling is fine. They're good units, or at least good-ish, but we have to use something to win these runs. And then we did Rising Rage, which is definitely like the worst thing to lose here. And Divinity and Last Stand. Which, to be fair, we didn't really use up all that much, since mostly we just spammed out the Rising Rages at each turn. Would have loved to have gotten more value out of Divinity, and I did feel bad that we took a Last Stand and then basically didn't use it. I really wanted Permafrost for it, or just like more minus costing, rather than Intrinsic, because the Intrinsic did basically nothing. I wasn't getting through my deck fast enough to play it a second time, or to see it a second time, I should say. Partly because I didn't kill the Scourge generators in that final battle, and because Entropy Seraph adds garbage to my deck, as does Entropy the Titan. Anyways, that's what we've used. I should maybe stop there, but we'll play one more. So I do need to swap higher. Actually, we will stop there. It's like 2:10. We'd only have 20 minutes before I start going overtime. I kind of have some things I should do tonight. So we'll stop there for the night. Yeah, we're making progress. It's a shame that we lost on Ardoon pretty badly. Again, if it weren't Savagery, we could have gotten through. Because we just had a deck that would have worked way better for any of the others. I mean, it still would have been... Well, it would have been okay against Dominion because we had a lot of wasted days. But it would have been a lot better against Entropy. And then on the Titans, it would have been awkward. I think we could have done it, but it would have been not great. Nonetheless, that's fine. We just got to redo Ardoon later. It's just such a shame because the Battleborn run was good and clean and solid. And then I just did not do well at all with Mystic Hammer, which is generally a much better path than Battleborn is. Regardless, thanks for hanging out. I'll see you later. We'll play more tomorrow. That's how it works. Have a nice night, everyone.